What's going on, guys? It's Trek YT here, or Nick, back with another brand new video. So today, again, we're doing another base showcase, but today's episode's a little bit different. As you guys can see behind me, we do finally have a spawner in our base. So ignore the fact that they're pig spawners, that doesn't matter. Those are just kind of resembling whatever type of spawner that you would want to put inside this base. So this base is a 16 by 16 base. It has a spawner, a collection room, and then a typical chest room like I normally try to put in every single base showcase. So without further ado, guys, let's jump right into today's episode, and hopefully you guys will enjoy. So we're starting things off in this room. Obviously, we have the availability for enough spawners. I made it high enough so that way you can have an Enderman spawner in here. Enough, I think it's about 46 high is what it is, and then the spawners are there. So it's definitely high enough to put whatever type of spawner that you would want to put in here. Obviously, this would be for spawners that are not needed to be killed manually. They're just it's a grinder basically. You don't have to worry about killing them. They're just going to fall, drop, and the loot's going to collect down below. So we're going to move down below. That's where we're going to start today's episode off, down in the collection area. But I just want to showcase this little area because it is between the collection area and then the base itself is up above. So we're down in the collection area. And so since this base is only 16 by 16, you kind of have to work with the space that you have, and it's kind of a difficult challenge to make it a little bit more organic than it would be because it's such a small little area. So what I tried to do is try to give it this sort of an L shape to try to give it some sort of, I guess, personality to the base rather than just keeping it a solid square. Now that does kind of not utilize all the space that we really have. Like, I'm pretty sure there is some space in that back corner back there, but I don't think that really matters all that much. I think that we have just what we need, and that is storage for our collection. So I made the storage kind of different. So all of these things kind of come down in different areas. Now you can kind of see behind it, we have hoppers back there. Now these ones are only regular chests. I think these are not double chest. Well, maybe, I'm not 100% sure. Over here though, this right here is all double chest. These are double chest, these are double chest, and these are double chest. So it's sort of themed like a cave that's being held up by the support of these wood logs. And then we have all the chests all around that are, again, look, they're all hooked up to the hoppers up above. And I think that this obviously probably isn't maximizing efficiency, but for me, I wasn't really worried all that much about that. I was more or less worried about the looks of the base, and I think we really did pretty good on that. I even tried to keep the ceiling really, really cool, and I tried something a little bit different. So what I did is had it so that way the ceiling itself can kind of like go back a little bit. I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to vocalize right now. Basically, it has a lot of depth inside the base, and I think that makes the ceiling look really, really cool. We have tons of different blocks in here, trying to really just draw your eye to different places in the build, like try to use this whole, like, I guess, different depth levels, like random depth levels all over the place. Kind of makes it really interesting to look at, and it definitely makes it kind of look like a cave because caves are really kind of random generally. So that's kind of what I was kind of shooting for. The floor pattern's pretty cool. I tried to make it taiga themed, but like keep it with the just regular forest biome, I guess, grass theme kind of thing. So I think it turned out pretty cool. I think that there really should be some sort of biome that does incorporate all of these blocks together, but with the forest, the regular forest grass, not the really, really dark green grass. I think that would look really cool, and especially with intertwining some spruce and all that stuff in the bottom would look pretty cool. Obviously, they're not going to make a biome that has this much randomness to it, but I think it looks really, really cool. So we're going to head up to the top to the storage area, but I just wanted to, again, do one little last walkthrough and mention, guys, that you're gonna have a little bit of a challenge when you're working with 16 by 16. You're really gonna have to work with the space that you have and try to find different organic ways to use the space as best as possible. And even you're gonna possibly waste space if you're trying to go for looks. Like, I can tell you right now, back there's probably about a 3 by 3 area that's not really being utilized, and back there maybe like a 2 by 2 or 3 by 3 area that's also not being utilized. So just know when you're going into a base what you're really focused on. Are you really focused on maximizing the efficiency, maximizing, I guess, all of that? Or if you're just trying to like have something that's still functional, still works perfectly fine, just not maximized efficiency, but also looks really, really cool. So we're up in the storage area, and since these both are not connected by any sort of ladder or stairs, you are going to have to set separate homes. So if that is sort of an issue for you, I'm sorry, that's just kind of how I thought. Most factions will give you the ability to have more than one home, like either have your regular home and then your F home. So I figured that would allow for you to do that. So since it is a smaller sized base, 16 by 16, I figured it's going to be for a smaller sized faction. So you're not going to have as much loot. So this is kind of like your less important chest, your drop chest from a raid, sort of stuff like that. And then on the opposite side, we have our more important chests. Now, I did my best to try to make these as protected as possible. I really don't play factions just about ever. I haven't played it in several years, like a year or two. So I'm not 100% sure what is considered unraidable or extremely protected, I guess. I don't think everything is unraidable. But what I did is I tried to make it so there's a 2-block gap underneath it. I think having this block here and this block here might also do something negative. I think it might allow you for a creep ragged, but in my opinion, I think these chests are pretty decently protected. I mean, if you guys want to, you guys can change up this space. You don't even have to have it cave themed. I really thought it looked cool though. You can even just knock out all this area and turn it into whatever you really want. I just thought it looked cool the way that it was. So since this is a smaller faction, I wanted to try to have just about everything in one central location. So on the right side, we have our repair stuff. So you have these chests on the side for potential stuff that you want to prepare, or like diamonds and stuff like that you want. Over here, you do have an ender chest, or not an ender chest, an enchantment table. And speaking of an ender chest, that is actually something I forgot. So this is going to be the first ever episode where we're going to add something into a base. Let's see, what would it be a good spot? I think right there would be perfectly good place to put an ender chest. So there we go. Now we have an ender chest in the base. So there's an ender chest right here. We have an enchantment table right here, which is, I believe, a level 30. Let me go ahead and just double check on that for you guys to make sure. Boom, it is a level 30, so we do have a level 30 enchants in here, and then we have the anvils on the opposite side to repair all that stuff. And so since this is such a small base, you really, again, you have to work with the space you're given, and a really good tip for building, I guess, is when you're given such a small area, the best possible way to really make that area look really cool is to add some height to your base. I mean, anything to make the space look a little bit more big is definitely going to benefit you in a long run. So what I like to do is if I have a really small area, considering this 16 by 16 to be considered small, I like to throw a higher ceiling in it so that way you're not bonking your head on a 2-block high area, and it just makes the base seem a little bit larger. Now, right now this base really is only about a 7 by 7 area right here, because it's the little walkway area. So again, it's even smaller because you have all the chests and all the walls kind of condensing you into a smaller area. So that's my best way to really give you guys the tip, is just throw your height up a little higher if you need to make the base appear to be a little bit larger than it really is. So this is kind of where we're going to bring today's episode to a wrap. So if you guys did enjoy today's episode, definitely show your support down below as always. I hope for the couple of people out there that wanted this sort of base. I know there were some people that wanted this version of a base with a spawner and a chest room and all that stuff down below in a 32 by 32 form. I can try to do that for next time or some in the future. I'll definitely keep that in mind. I definitely know there's a lot of people out there that want that, but I know there is some other people out there that really wanted a 16 by 16 with a spawner in it. So I tried to do that for some people, and I will definitely try to get to the other 32 by 32 in the future. So again, if you guys would like to see a 30 by 32 with a spawner, definitely let me know down in the comments. I read them all, and that's kind of where I got the suggestion for today's base. The link for the download will be down below as always, so if you guys want to download this, you guys can go ahead and download the schematic for this and use Schematic to put it into your current faction base, wherever that may be on whatever server, and hopefully me adding these schematics that I did several months ago really does help you guys out. As always guys, I love you all. See you guys later. Peace out.